we're gonna go watch some more Fox News Cope about May Day. Because I'm noticing a new thing this year, because May Day, we've had May Day celebrations and like events in America for at least the past couple years now. I at least went to one last year, I think. And they've been growing in prominence, right? And there's no evidence that something is starting to like worry the people in power. Then as soon as Fox News starts like ragging on it, right? Like as soon as Fox News starts trying to put out their propaganda or whatever against it, that's when you know that it's starting to actually like mean something and have some form of power. It's the same way like when Hassan finally broke containment, right? Like where he used to be just some like Twitch streamer that like weirdos like me who are like terminally obsessed with politics online. It used to be something that like we knew about, and then it broke containment and the billionaires found out about Hassan, and now they have a segment like their daily condemnation of Hassan. They do it on Fox News every day now. But that's like another symbol that Hassan is like, his prominence is growing, and he's now an actual threat to he's viewed as a threat to the people in power. And I think this is a similar situation where they're starting to get really like worried about worker solidarity growing, and these May Day events in particular. So let's go ahead and watch this video of what. Let's try and figure out what narrative they're trying to come up with. I'm sure it won't have anything to do with Soros. Four cities, one playbook, May Day protest planning uncovered. Let's see it.
Joining us now for tonight's big close-up is Azra Nomani, senior editor of investigations at Fox News Digital. Azra, you've been all over this and all of these various protests, whether they're protesting for Palestine or for Maduro or no kings. Seems like we've got a new protest every weekend. Yesterday, of course, the May Day protest. They do this every year. Was this funded by someone up top, or was this really as grassroots as the folks on the ground maybe believe it was?
Oh my gosh. So, at Fox News Digital, we sent reporters to 4 cities: Minneapolis, New York City, Washington, D.C., where I was, and Los Angeles.
No St. Louis? Come on. What's wrong with you? Yeah, Hassan Piker was in St. Louis, and you can't spare one reporter to go report on your favorite derangement, like autistic obsession, like your favorite political autistic obsession, Hassan Piker. Come on, man. Seriously.
Minneapolis, New York City, Washington, D.C., where I was, and Los Angeles. So 4 cities, it was one playbook, Tommy. And it was this network. It was this network of these organizations that you just mentioned with $2 billion in collective revenue. And there are 2 tycoons that are funding a number of these organizations. Tycoons. George Soros is one tycoon.
Oh, I swear I don't pre-watch this stuff. I knew as soon as I saw their Chiron saying like $1.1 billion, I was like, they're gonna tie it back to Jews somehow. Like they're gonna do it. I knew that was gonna happen, man. That's crazy. Look, this is why you guys watch me, man, because I know I am tapped in, man. I know what's going through these ghouls' heads, and I can tell you what they're thinking. That's why you should trust me when I say like they're actually nervous about this stuff now if they're covering it like this.
$1 billion in collective revenue. And there are 2 tycoons that are funding a number of these organizations. George Soros is one tycoon, and Neville Roy Singham, living in Shanghai,
I don't know who that is,
pushing out the propaganda of the Chinese Communist Party, is another. That young man that had his little sign, I've got one right here, by the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
The PSL.
And so this beautiful yellow sign is an example of the machine of propaganda that they put out into our streets across the country.
Wait, the PSL is just I mean, I don't know all of the groups that are involved in the May Day protests, but I think that's the PSL, right? Here, we can read about the PSL together. Party for Socialism and Liberation is a communist political party in the United States, formed in 2004 when its members split from the Workers' World Party. revolutionary socialist party in the Leninist tradition. Only a revolution can end capitalism and establish socialism. Probably. I would probably agree with that assessment. PSL pursues this goal by participating in local protests, running candidates. Membership does not release membership numbers in 2019. 100 cities. We have a PSL group, I think, in St. Louis. PSL is a democratic centralist party, which means that all members, including those who disagree, are duty bound to publicly defend and carry out all PSL decisions. Party Congress held every 2 to 3 years. Answer Coalition. Let's see. Breakthrough News. Oh, I like Breakthrough News. Breakthrough News is a good news channel. Whoops. Didn't mean to click on it, though. Brian Becker and Eugene Puryear and Rania Kalek. Okay, so Rania Kalek, I watch her coverage of Lebanon a lot. Okay, so here we go. Many of the organizations above are funded in part by Neville Roy Singham, a Shanghai-based. Okay, so he lives in Shanghai. Shanghai is like the capitalist portion of China, right? Am I wrong on that? A Shanghai-based American billionaire businessman who supports organization and media outlets that have been noted for echoing pro-Beijing talking points. Doesn't Shanghai, don't they not like Beijing? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong city. I can't get too deep into it. Okay, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm trying to remember. I thought Shanghai was like the capitalist portion. A direct administered populous area. Okay, whatever. Anyway, but Neville Roy Singham. Most of this funding comes from the Justice and Education Fund, to which Neville Singham has donated more than $20 million. Okay. So it sounds like he might be an actual booster of this particular organization, the PSL. Okay, well, I guess that's enough info about the PSL. But like, I mean, I guess what I would say is this: there are some very few like incredibly rich people who are actually willing to put money and stuff on the line for socialist causes. It's very, very, very rare. And so I think the thing that I would say is I don't really care if they do it. You know, I don't want them to corrupt these organizations in any way. I guess I would say that, like, I would probably limit their funding to some extent. And like I'm a member of DSA, right? So I pay my dues. If you pay your dues, I think you should have the same amount. Like, if you pay whatever amount that you are willing to donate, I think that you should have just the same amount of vote and representation in those groups as anybody else. But obviously, you know, we're like, when it comes to socialist organizations and stuff, there is such a disadvantage when it comes to funding, like compared to like right-wing groups or like Turning Point USA or whatever, right? Like all of these right-wing groups are so well funded. They have like, they said that this person donated like $20 million here. $20 million, that's like chump change compared to the average, like what the average billionaire donates to like Turning Points USA and stuff, you know, like, so that's what I would say in terms of that. I'm sure that I guess there are some big boosters. I didn't see any evidence of Soros in here. I didn't, let me see if I can, Soros is just a boogeyman for the right because he's a Jew. And they're all anti-Semites. Like that's basically it. But Soros, what he does is he funds various liberal institutions. I wouldn't say that George Soros is in any way a socialist or wants to advance the cause of socialism in America. I think that he is just a liberal who donates to liberal institutions. They didn't show me any evidence of that though, so I'm just assuming that they're all just anti-Semites being like the Jews. It's the Jews.
In order to push type of cognitive warfare on the brains of Americans.
You know, Azra, one of the groups, some of the groups that were out there were teachers' unions. And I had a friend send me a picture just from a local school there where she lives of all these signs, but they're in a...
Fox News will never miss an opportunity to attack teachers. I'm telling you, if you ever, that I dare you to go out there and find a single clip of Fox News ever supporting teachers. I'm telling you, you are going to be searching for a long time. That's going to be your entire weekend, my friend. It is not possible. They hate teachers so fucking much.
A classroom, and it's stuff like frick ice and other, you know,
that's adorable, dude. Frick ice. I mean, come on. That is adorable. Yes, my young little communists, please go out there. Go out there with your cute, non-offensive language when it comes to the institution of ICE, which is like a brown person black bagging operation. There's a little bit of like a funny juxtaposition there of like using, you know, nice or like not using bad language for an institution as like violent as ICE. That's crazy. But yes, my young future communists, go out there, do your duty.
Classroom, and it's stuff like frick ice and other, you know, orange man bad, basically. Kids wrote these signs. They wrote them in a classroom on school time. And I guess the idea was, I don't know, you know, what kind of protest was happening there near San Diego, but I guess the idea is they would get the kids out protesting as well.
Yeah, because we know that indoctrination happens most successfully when you...
I will say I am all for that, by the way. I think that it is an important part of your of your education to engage in civic activity. And to all of the right wingers out there who are complaining, right, because these kids are going out and engaging in, you know, basic acts of civic duty that you have to your country. Like you have a duty to your country to go engage in civic acts like this. OK. To all of the right wingers out there who are mad that they're all going out there and doing organizing for these events, I've got news for you. You can also set up your own political events that are protests that you can have your kids go out and do. The problem with right wingers is they never want to actually go engage in civic action. So like, if you want to go out there and like, I don't know, protest for what, like the your right to die for the state of Israel or whatever, like go out there, wave your Israeli flag, go do it. You're more than welcome to go out there and engage in your civic acts if you want to. Like, I really don't care. The problem is you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. I know you're not going to do it. You know you're not going to do it, because engaging in like any sort of like civic duty for the country is an inherently like left-wing sort of like position. Like you have to be, it's a willingness to put your own personal time, like do something in your own personal time that is not directly benefiting you as an individual, that is benefiting the collective of society. So like I'm saying, I would love it if right wingers went out there and engaged in protests more often, or engaged in direct action more often. Even if it's for causes that I disapprove of, I would still prefer, as long as you're not like joining like, I don't know, a Klans rally or something, you know, like I don't know, like if you're doing that, maybe I would have a problem with it. But if you're going out and protesting for, I don't know, like your gun rights or whatever, I'm all for that, because I want people to be more civically engaged. I love that shit. That's great. Go do it. You're not going to. I know you're not going to. I dare you to. Anyway, let's see what's going to get her butt hurt about teaching kids how to engage in basic civics, the necessary necessary part of a functioning society. Let's see what she's going to have a problem with here
as well.
Yeah, because we know that indoctrination happens most successfully when you are young. And so I got one of those pre-made signs from the National Education Association.
Wow.
It's a multi-million-dollar labor union. And they say,
God, they hate teachers so much.
Don't teach our kids.
They don't?
And unfortunately,
this is facts. These are facts.
The teachers don't want to teach our kids because they've got them out on the streets with these handmade fake.
They're teaching them civics, dude. Okay, what do you think is more important? Like like I'm gonna give you two situations. What do you think is like a better use of their time in terms of like learning something? Going to a let's say something relatively, going to the zoo, sending your kids on a field trip out to the zoo, okay? Or sending your kids out to engage in like a civic action, a basic duty of yours as an American citizen to do. This is a functioning of our society. This is how our society has been organized by our founding fathers, of like what you are supposed to engage in order to better the country. It's an act of patriotism to go out there and do your civic duty and these types of actions. What do you think is better? I'm serious. Like personally, I think that you will get more educational value. And I'm not even saying that there's no educational value from going to a zoo and learning about animals and stuff on a field trip. But I think that you get even more educational value out of like going to a direct civic action engagement like this. This is very important for being a like steward of our country. That's our duty as citizens.
Our kids, because they've got them out on the streets with these handmade fake signs pushing ideologies and ideas that they don't even understand. And that's the real tragedy, because we all know those kids need to be learning how to read, write, and do their arithmetic. But again, America's adversaries benefit when they distract us with this kind of ideological warfare and keep our kids from learning.
Ezra, a great report.
Well, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? I mean, I know what they're going to try to do about it. They're going to try to destroy teachers' unions and destroy teachers themselves and destroy the public school system. That's what they're going to try to do about it. The problem is this isn't going to go away. You can try as hard as you want to disenfranchise people from engaging in like civic action. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. These are necessary steps to bettering the country and like getting policies across the board that are going to benefit the working class. So there's really just nothing you can do about it. The worse the conditions get, the more of this you're going to see. And like I said, there's literally nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry. Go cry harder.
I follow you closely. Neville Roy Singham, you just singled out again, and you've been incredible on him. $278 million donations, but that's not really the question I have. It's about the issue of free speech versus sedition. If he's committing sedition here from China, shouldn't the United States government be able to sanction him?
Well, you're absolutely right, Dr. Siegel. And, I was really happy to be able to talk to you because you wrote this book once called The Inner Pulse.
Dude, I don't care about this dude. Okay, if sanction him, go for it. Go for it. I don't care. It's not like it's not like that's going to change anything, man. These people are, they always, it's projection like always. They always think that there is some shadowy billionaire who is funding these groups. They can't possibly imagine that people actually go out there and take time out of their day to engage in an act of their like civic duty as citizens of this country. And it's crazy because like that is a foundational part of like our society, of like the creation of this country. How it was founded is that citizens are supposed to be out there committing themselves to the betterment, like to acts of civic engagement in order to better the country. It's literally like a founding principle of our country, and they don't understand it. It's insane, man.
Really happy to be able to talk to you because you wrote this book once called The Inner Pulse. I know that you've forgotten about it probably, but it's so important to think about that idea because what Neville Roy Singham is able to do is touch the inner pulse of the United States of America and the way Americans think in this strategy of cognitive warfare. That doesn't mean any bullets fly, but ideas cross boundaries, like, for example, the Communist Manifesto. This is one of those ideas that they are trying to put into the minds of our little young children.
Yeah, one of those dangerous ideas, one of those thought crimes. They should be arrested. Anybody who has this book should be arrested. I'm sure we'll get there someday. I'm sure we'll get there someday.
Children. And what is the ultimate regulation that the United States can do? It's the Al Capone strategy, where you can go after these nonprofits for breaking tax laws. And, this is not charity work, putting out People's World, Communist Manifesto, the Socialist Reconstruction of America, where we let everyone out of jail. Isn't that a great idea? So what is happening is that, fortunately, the Treasury Department, Justice Department, State Department are all examining these nonprofits for potentially breaking laws.
Be sure to
Nonprofits. I'm assuming they're talking about like the organization, like the what law. I don't know, man. Like I would be, I guess, if they're gonna go after like for instance, like the funds of these systems, that can't be legal, right? Like we are all due paying, like I'm thinking from the DSA perspective. We all pay our dues to the DSA. It is like funded by us, right? In order to like, you know, like advance our cause. Our cause is to get like democratic socialists elected into mayor and to eventually transition America, hopefully peacefully, from a capitalist system to a socialist system. You know, like that is our goal. I don't understand what could possibly be construed as like illegal from that. If that's illegal, wouldn't like every political body that accepts funds be illegal? Like wouldn't Turning Point USA be illegal? Wouldn't every think tank be illegal? Like all of these things are just all of these things, like they accept a bunch of money to then go engage in either acts or like research or whatever, right? They go and engage in these things to put forward their ideology. So if one of them, if any of this is illegal, then all of it's illegal. And you can try. They're going to try. They're always going to try. It's not going to work, man. You can't suppress the people indefinitely. There's always a breaking point. You know, the delusions of these people is, but also, like I said before, yeah, like this is just an example. Like they're putting all this. I've never seen Fox News go this hard against May Day protests before, which means that we're doing something right. The more they chirp, the more they bitch and moan about it, the more good that we're doing in the world, the further our reach is.